got to do these builds once in a while. They help get the creative juices rolling. Just about to start a fresh batch of knives here, guys. Got them going. Actually, a bunch of customs. Really awesome dirk here, a Scottish dirk. Several custom orders, a Bake Apple Grand Class, a Rascal, a custom, based off of the Bake Apple chassis. But every once in a while, when I'm going through like this, I'm putting through custom orders, but I usually put in also a couple production patterns, because people are always asking. By the time these are finished, this batch I'm working through here now, and I work them through in batches. By the time these are done, I'll have emails asking for, hey, looking for a Bake Apple for a birthday, or hey, really looking for a yellow fox for my hunt. Got anything? So, well, as it happens, you know, I threw a couple extra in, so they're pretty much done. What I've been doing lately is also hunting through. A lot of times when you're cutting out blade blanks and stuff, like this, and this, you end up with odd-shaped scraps. Now, sometimes I'll take, if they're little small odd-shaped scraps, I'll take them and say, what can I come up with out of this little scrap here, this little chunk? And I have a little design made up. I'll work it through, and it may never end up being those lines by the time I work it through on the grinder. I'll feel it out, I'll feel the weight. But it seems like to me this would be a sweet little camp food prep or an EDC knife, maybe a neck knife. I'll work it through, we'll see. Might not be anything. Haven't seen that yet. But I have this really big piece of 3/16 inch thick stock. Very thick blade stock, and I had this image just pop in my mind right away of what I wanted to do with it. And some of the design elements are based off of a SOG, I don't remember the name of it now. But this right here is what I have in mind. This is 12 inches overall length. It's a real big blade. Fullered, saber grind, flat grind, probably up to the fuller. I'm gonna have a cut in here, I think a bow drill divot here. Thong tube in the back, you can see these lines. This is where my scale will stop. I think, again, this is a full custom, just built. I've got to do these builds once in a while. They help get the creative juices rolling. And I'm excited about this knife. I'm gonna take you guys through the build as we go through, so you can see the process, and you very well may see a new pattern here, or there might be a real sweet custom here that one of you might want to grab onto. This is one of my favorite parts here of designing a custom or a new production pattern, something totally from scratch, is perimeter grinding. It's one thing to sketch it out on a flat piece of steel where you have no feel of what the knife is going to be. You can have an idea, especially over time with experience, you get an idea of what will work. You can draw and know what will work. But until you get to the stage I'm at right here, where you're perimeter grinding and you're getting to feel the weight changing in the knife as you're carving away at steel, you can feel the dimensions starting to slip properly into your hand. That's when it gets fun. And when you can look at this side profile of the knife here and see what it's going to look like, this is so exciting. And just like I said, gets those creative juices rolling, and you get a feeling of inspiration. You just, when you know you're onto something nice, you're having so much fun at this stage here. And now with my fuller grinding setup, which is partly purchased and partly made, partly DIY, but I'm going to carve a beautiful fuller into this knife. I think the long blade deserves something extra there, something to grab the eye. And of course the fuller offers some functional aspect as well, although I'm not entirely convinced about the different theories that I've heard for the reasoning of it. I think mostly, for most people, it's going to serve an aesthetic purpose. I would say grinding bevels is the most difficult aspect of making a knife, getting that right. And in the case of a brand new pattern like this, getting the bevel set so that it's proper for the knife. You don't have anything to go on, you don't have any past history. Like I said, you're just watching the lines on the knife, you're feeling the weight change as you remove steel. You're really feeling out this knife as you're going through this process for the first time. So now this is what we're up to so far. I have that blade pretty much 100% ground in. We have it fuller. It is still very nice and nose heavy because your main primary handle would be back here. We have a scales extending up here. So we have a handle that we can get multiple grip positions on. That's what I was going for, sort of that, boy, what is that sog pattern? Can't think of it now, but I built a replica of one before. Now that's a smaller knife. But I was going for the same sort of thing so that you have all of this front weight that would make this a beautiful chopper, especially with that 3/16 steel. Just awesome. But then balance nicely for a good grip, and you have a lot of lock in there, but you also have that nice choil up front that you can choke way up. We'll have to design the scale to work with that, but that makes this then much more precise knife for caping or butchering, skinning, whatever. So again, that's all rough ground before heat treat. I'm not sure. I'll probably leave this full forge finish. We'll decide after. Why don't you guys vote? Should we do full forge finish? Should we leave the fuller and the flat here, the forge finish, and just satin grind the bevel when we're done? What would you like to see? Let me know in the comments. We've got to drill this thing out now and then get it in for heat treat. But that'll be in part 2, so make sure you come back. For right now, to finish out this video, I wanted to show you guys a little project I did recently where I built out or rebuilt a Benchmade tagged out model. It was sent in by a client here in Newfoundland, guy I've worked with before, but he really put me to the task on this one. Very tough build, but wait till you see the results on that Benchmade. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Noseworthy.com to shop my stock that's already ready built, or you can email me. All this information is down in the description in the comments there if you want to contact me for custom build to see about picking this knife up, rebuilds, whatever. But check out this Benchmade. There were so many head scratchers. This was one of the most complex or precision projects I've ever done. It was up next to this, probably would have been that 2-piece dagger set that I built. That was tricky and had some design elements, but you could finish everything to a flush or precise fit after the fact. But this thing, let me show you the scales here. This is pretty much worst case scenario. So this is an integral frame lock here. And this is the axis lock from Benchmade. So these are the spring paths. This is a sliding axis lock that has to pass through here like a little cam lock. And then the spring paths are right there that had to be precise. And then the frame of the knife is set in. We have countersunk both sides, different dimensions. For the back spacers, we have integrated like little steel coils here. We have an integrated, just look at how much is going on. And now I didn't go ahead and reproduce the stippling and these things. I didn't go for that, but just so much going on to make this handle functional. And of course, if anything is just a few thousandths out of alignment, the knife won't function properly. The locking mechanism won't function properly. The blade will be totally lopsided in the frame. It was just a tough one. But I was able to produce this, and the client opted for a polished blade, and he sent in new blue titanium hardware and a green titanium new lock bar here, and then new orange spacers. But you can see, look at that, we lined everything up so the micarta gave like a rainbow trout look. The belly, the backside. This was a difficult project. And that said, I'm so very happy with the work, and just what great choices by the client here. This is just a beautiful piece. Just love it, and everything's functioning properly, and the fit up, the blade centering is not perfect, but it's pretty darn close there. Smudgy there with the polish, of course. So I've got some oil in there, just working this thing in and working the lock in. Lockup is perfect. All the dimensions are just right. But again, apologies for not filming it. It was just, I spent too much time just fiddling and tweaking and taking a little out here and a little out there to get it perfect. And I just said, I can't run this camera. I just can't do it.